second, oddly enough, Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers Media Network presentation, and we are the Triforce Podcast, of course. I am your host, Matthew Bucarell, the Mat Man. To my left is Christopher Bristow, the old man. We have our omnipotent presence that is Big Brother Stephen Bucarell. And, of course, our mascot, hero of time at my feet, Link Diablo. And gang, we gather here together to talk about all the latest and greatest in geek culture, nerdy news, and video games. And we have two guests in the Perjanger box tonight. Joining us are Trevor Alexander and Jeff Smalley from New Dad Gaming. You can find their stuff at newdadgaming.com. I did.
Thank you for joining the show, guys.
Welcome.
Absolute pleasure. Couldn't have said it better myself. So excited to be here tonight. It's a lot more audio visual than we're used to on our show, so this is going to be fun to keep up.
Yeah, man. We started off with a car ride. It's 4 years ago, and he already had the network set up, and then I just came in, and we slowly just donked it, fucking up every single spot of the way.
Falling flat on our faces.
We like to say failing upwards.
Yes, we definitely failed upwards.
I had previous experience with a podcast company I started with a friend of mine I call Bob, because fuck him. And I remembered the shit that I used to do with OBS. And now we're doing Streamlabs OBS, which allows us to multi-stream along with, the chat box will pop up. We've actually used the virtual webcam from Streamlabs. So it was a lot of slow update and progress. But one of the best things that has ever happened was, it sounds so fucked up, but the pandemic. Because everybody...
How dare you?
Cancel culture's coming. But in the fact that everybody was on Zoom.
Hashtag not my virus.
Everybody, our podcast didn't change. It just evolved to where now we have the Perjanger box that you're in. And we gained another weekly podcast member with Katarina, our wonderful woman. And she couldn't be here tonight because we changed the nights up on her. Literally, she texted us last night like, am I missing something? Shit.
Yeah, we forgot.
But that's the thing is it allows this to be possible because so many people are just used to and accustomed to Zoom now. And you can allow it to be one of your appendages and use it as a tool in podcasting. So it's a definite feature that we like to do. Regardless of talking about ourselves, we want to talk about you guys because we're a Philly-based, we'll put it this way. We're a U.S.-based podcast. You guys are a little bit north of us in Canada, Ontario, you mentioned. And we want to know, I guess my question is, what are some differences that you could think of that an American wouldn't be able to, wouldn't know about gaming from your side? Is there anything different online-wise? We're getting fucked by Comcast and Verizon while Europe has, next fucking century lightning speed.
They're 25% faster.
I'm always curious, through the looking glass, how is gaming on your side?
Yeah, Jeff unfortunately has a perpetual rant about pricing compared on the two, right, Jeff?
Yeah. Pricing up here is ridiculous. So while you guys are down there with Comcast, we're up here paying with gold to try and get an internet connection because it is expensive. And I don't think I don't think we're faster than anybody else. We just pay a lot more, probably double, triple than what you guys are paying down there.
Wow.
So
what's your price point? What would that equal in US dollar?
Let me do the conversion in my head.
Oh yeah, that's how many Canada bucks is one US?
This isn't a math show.
Hey, Google.
Fucking Google.
I would, I don't think it's too egregious to say. I almost think it's double, honestly, for the amount. Yeah. Let's say you want to get 10 gigs a month, on your phone for that. That is $100, $150, depending who you're going with.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and that's just the internet speed. The other one is the game prices itself.
Yeah.
Because what they'll love to do is when the Canadian dollar and the American dollar differ, Canadian dollar is going way down, it's a lot more. They'll raise the Canadian price. So it costs $40 in America, costs $60 in Canada. But then we come closer to parity, and the game costs $40 in America and $70 in Canada. Like it never gets closer. It always goes farther apart.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a tax on the other side of the border here.
Even digital assets.
That's the best part too. It's like you did ship nothing. This didn't touch a train. Like you just sent it over the waves, and I'm still paying like $80 for this game.
You know what?
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I do remember a story about that because Steam was trying to get around that for like, and wow, man, that is so fucked.
That sucks. I think you guys need to game share with one of us so you can get our library.
I don't know if you guys noticed, there's services where if you live close enough to the border, you want to order an American product, you get it shipped to just on the border. And then they'll either figure out the freight or you drive across the border on a day trip and pick it up because it's so much cheaper. And then you come on back to Canada.
Do you have anything to claim?
No, sir. No,
No.
not at all. Strapped to.
It's like, no, I'm not from your country.
Hey.
Yeah. One saving grace, I will say, well, on digital stuff, on digital games, we used to get away without paying tax.
Yeah.
So that's a way that we could save, a good, I don't know, $10 on some stuff.
That was
but
across
now
the
they
board
just
for a while.
they introduced it. So we're paying tax on digital stuff too. So
Yeah, I do remember that story because it was not just you. It was like everybody was just like, yeah guess what? You're not getting away from it. I'm like, fuck. It's following you.
yeah.
Oh, geez. Last one. Sorry, I just realized this too. So because we're officially bilingual, now I say technically official because we're supposed to speak English and French. Mostly just English. But because it's law, every box has to have everything in English and in French. Wow. So if you come up here, like your box arts can be entirely different because it has to have all the titles, all the names, all the manuals have to be in both official languages. So it tends to ruin some of the prettier boxes that you might see.
Yeah, imagine like we'll just take out here, we'll take out here.
Let's just reduce that font size a good 100 pixels or so.
Wait, there was a Mega Man on that cover?
I saw his accents.
Next thing they'll just start putting the text in bolding in the box art, so the color is the text, and it'll actually look like the box art, and it'll just be, you'll see read point I. No, his literal I.
So what are you most excited for in gaming future? Because obviously out of the big greats, we have a lot of push for VR, AR, different stuff like that. Obviously there's a limit to what you can do with the consoles, but where are you putting your chips more?
I think the streaming service has been just a game changer. Well, excuse the pun on that. But so myself, I'm running with Xbox Game Pass right now.
Okay.
And you pay a monthly subscription, and with that, I get access to this ridiculous library, more games than I'd ever be able to play.
Even with EA access as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So I'm getting all these sports games coming out like first day drops, and it's just shifted. There's this worry where, okay, if the benevolent corporation ever decides to take it away, you have nothing. Right. So there's I could understand the arguments to having, and Jeff would argue for this. So having the physical disc. That's how you roll.
I read an article that with Game Pass and Ultimate Game Pass, people who are subscribed to them spend 35% more on top of the subscription because now to get like all the extra enhancements and DLC, now they're paying that extra money on top of that Game Pass. So Microsoft's making their money.
Oh yeah. They're making it in the back end, Giga.
Yep.
But that's what they do. They do it everywhere. They do it in car sales. They do it that you're going to stuff in that back end, but you have that nice low price in the entry point, and then they have all this nice attractive shit in front of you. Like, okay, your free passway is right back here with your low monthly subscription, but look at all this awesome crap we have.
But what I also like about the Game Pass is the indie-centric games that they have. Games that you would have never played otherwise that they have available, and you can just download and say, hey, I'm just going to try this, and it costs me nothing because it's built in.
Microsoft, I want to say, they had a little bit more of an edge compared to, like, obviously, PCs out of this talk because that's where fucking indies were. But out of the bigs, I mean, you scarcely see anything out of Nintendo indie.
No, and Nintendo Switch has
That's
a
probably
lot
because
of
I haven't looked at Nintendo in years.
a
Besides
lot
your
of
podcast.
indie-centric games, but they don't have like a subscription to back it up.
But Microsoft, obviously, Sony just like gobbled up a bunch of people. Like, come on, we'll put out your game. But Microsoft was doing indie-centric stuff from like 360
Yeah, they were.
early on.
When I mean, with the inception of the Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah. Because it was that easy game. But then again, you got games like Shadow Complex on the 360.
Yeah, that was good.
Which was fantastic.
Which they remastered and put out for all platforms.
And I fucking bought it again. But that is the curse of the PC Master Race, is that I will buy it again. I bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I didn't have to.
Oh.
He has it on PlayStation. We share. So I didn't need to. It's in my catalog though. It's in my Steam library. It's another book on the shelf, you know?
He's got a bit of a problem.
It's only about 500 games.
Digital
It
hoarder.
happens.
Look, do you know how much space in this house all of those games would take?
Oh yeah, I know.
That's a
It
whole
would
new
be-
house.
You would look at me like I have a fucking problem. But when I say I have
what I said.
500 digital games, you're like, oh, whatever. You just wasted a bunch of money.
I think we have a new A&E show, Digital Hoarders. Do
Yeah, there you go.
you have a problem, sir?
I might play that. I literally had such
Please
a problem
press
with my hard drive
delete.
for the longest time.
It's okay. We will work through this together. Just press delete.
I had the hardest time pressing delete on a game. But what if I want to play it? Then I gotta wait for this shit to download. I couldn't do it. It was a Digital Hoarders episode there. That is the first
Yeah.
episode.
So that's one of the more interesting ones too. So the next phase of the Game Pass is they're actually going to stream it to your console. So you can download it if you want to make sure your internet goes out. You don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
They're
so,
going with that anywhere, everywhere thing.
Yeah. So like if you want to, as opposed to having like the 18 gig download just to try something first level. Oh, neat. I hate this. So now I got to download it. I've wasted a bunch of data and 2 hours of my life. Stream it, play it. Like, do you like it very much? Oh, great. You can download it, maybe get some DLC.
Yeah.
So, that new accessibility to just jump in, dive into games, playing, like the point about indie games, like bang on. Like I would have never probably spent $40 on this indie game. Let me try it. Oh, it turns out it's a favorite game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
So that type of accessibility to it, I think, is really exciting for the future.
Counterpoint to that, though.
Damn you, Jeff.
Now,
We discussed this before we got on, Jeff. We're going to be
Trevor,
a team.
yes. See, Trevor's always trying to get me on Game Pass, and I understand Game Pass's value.
God,
to
you're like my
the-
kindred spirit. This motherfucker.
Right?
Always He's your spirit. Well, actually, it's on Game Pass. Like, okay, I get it.
You get it
I
free
understand.
on your
Yeah,
computer.
exactly. But being an older gamer, does no one remember demos? Like demos were
yeah,
a
they
thing,
were great.
right?
I subscribed to the PlayStation magazine with the discs and
Look,
everything.
I'm going to continue.
exactly.
I'm going to continue to blow steam, but once again, they have demos back. You can demo a game on Steam. Just saying.
Right. Yeah. So it's just like that, like the allure of Game Pass, so I can download and try out a game. It's just like, can we get back to demos so everybody can enjoy, something and see what it's all about and then purchase? Like that would be great. But I know that's probably not good for their bottom line. So I understand Game Pass, but like, I don't know. It's like a demo list.
That's
Who
kind of an
didn't look
arguing
forward to
point
that
there, because I
demo
think
test?
that you can
Game
can
Pass
still
also includes Xbox Live Gold now, so like it's
it's
the
the
streaming
same thing
service
that
and
Game
your
Pass is
online
doing.
service.
With the demo, it's the same thing that they're doing. Here's the first level. You already see the appetite there. You just want people to do it your way.
Well,
like
that's
no,
what Telltale
do
did
that.
with their games. Is like they
Yes.
gave you the first episode, and say, "Hey, do you like it?" And, all right, and people just bought it, even though it's the same game over and over again, just different skin.
First taste is always free.
That's true. Although they did go belly up for a reason.
They did.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's a bad taste.
I mean, they made a Game of Thrones game.
And they made a Tales of Borderlands game.
Didn't even. I'd played Tales of Borderlands
The
because
Batman game was
good.
badass, though.
It was badass. Batman was awesome. Tales from the Borderlands was awesome. Even the first Walking Dead, Clementine, that was fucking surreal.
With Lee, yeah.
When you fucking finish that game, that's like a heart wrenching story, right out of something from a Robert Kirkman page.
That was just a mental mind fuck. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was. And then they did the Mass Effect thing of those choices mattered in the next game. That's what I appreciated about that.
And they actually did matter.
Yeah, a lot. Whether you let fuck Kenny, that guy could he can stay dead.
Have you guys had any chance to play with VR? Like, do you have VR headsets? Have you experienced any of the new sets out there?
I have
Since
not,
the
but I've
80s.
always wanted to play human bar fight.
Yeah,
Okay.
I honestly, I've always wanted to try. the Batman
Google it,
game and
YouTube
just,
it. It is hilarious. Human bar fight VR. It is.
And so needed during the pandemic. It's like, what's it like to be inside of a bar? Like, let's get top in there.
What was that like? The guy on YouTube, he was just sitting there. He's just like, all right, I'm going to grab you and throw you out the window and just be like, hit you. And the commentary on it was beautiful.
And what was it? The Surgeon Simulator.
Yes.
Those are some of the
Yeah.
funniest fucking videos that you can watch.
And especially the ones that like,
you
really
don't need that. Don't need
really
that.
get the commentary. They're like, "Oh man, I just clipped that vein. He's gonna die now." You know.
Yeah, some people are really creative on that. I have wanted to hop on the VR train, but it's also like, which one do you go with? Oculus has, I have a lot of hope for Oculus, especially with what they're doing. With we covered the one story to where they have, I think, the gestures for your hands instead of holding the actual controls, which is really dope. You add cameras. Fuck it, we'll work around it. I appreciate the innovativeness, but also with the Quest, this is just
Which one is owned by Facebook, by the way?
oh fuck, I don't
Oculus.
Oculus is.
Oculus?
So I think both those sets.
A lot
yeah.
of people were mad when Facebook went down because then it
You
bumped
had to
their
have that.
Oculus
That's right.
headset.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck,
Because you need a Facebook account,
I didn't even think of that. That is a Facebook.
so you don't want Big Brother staring at you.
Wow, he can stare. I don't give a fuck.
It's kind of my job.
I think he was talking
How else
about
is
the
camera
George
gonna
Orwell.
work?
Yeah, I think he was talking about the George Orwell.
Oh,
Hello,
right,
Dave.
right, that one. Right.
Although that is
Great guy.
that is why that's why he has the nickname.
Yes, because that's kind of unfortunate, honestly. Because I had the Oculus Quest 2, and I had the PSVR before that. The Oculus Quest is just unbelievable as far as it's just everything's inside the headset. Because with the PSVR and even other sets maybe you played with,
Yeah.
like it's cables and there's like an extra little box. There's all of this setup and hullabaloo about getting this thing in so you can play. Once you do, it's awesome. A lot of fun. Really cool. But this thing is like, it's just the headset. Slam it on and go. Like very user-friendly, very super fast to get into. Lots of fun. Great games. But it's Zuckerberg. Like Zuckerberg's in your eyes. And that's always in the back of your head of like, this is wonderful and amazing. I wonder what Zuckerberg thinks of my actions right now.
He's probably thinking something from his home planet. I don't know.
Yeah.
You ever seen him? Just watch him drink water. There's nothing normal about that.
Xenu's not going to worship
isn't.
himself.
Yeah. Xenu will be fine.
But one of the greatest experience I had with VR, and it's across all the platforms. It's called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
I've
I don't know
heard
if you've ever seen that one.
Yes. Yes, I have heard of that one.
Yeah, it is. It's such a fantastic. I think it's people really understanding the power of the medium or the capabilities of the medium. So one person, for anyone who's not aware, you just put on the headset and you are in the room with the bomb. You are looking at a physical bomb in 3D like VR space. You can turn it. You can see everything. You have to describe to people in the room what you're seeing. It's like, okay, I see 2 blue wires and a red one, and it goes off to a switch. And then they have either physical paper that they've printed out or a phone. Like you can just have like the manual on your phone. It's like, okay, quick flip. And everybody in the room is flipping through the pages. Find the red wire. How do you do it? Okay, first click the red wire. And now this room of friends are yelling at you.
Oh, that'll
like,
turn out well.
You have to clip the red wire. I can't see it. We're going to die. It just goes off the rails that way.
Captain, I don't have the power.
Yeah. But just that sort of interactions where it's one person off in a different space, but there's still, it's not just, some dork in his bedroom by himself, like jumping on buildings. Like it's this social aspect to it where somebody can be transported somewhere else while still being part of the group. And it becomes this communal thing. I see the same thing. There's like this driving range game where you can put it up on the big screen so people see, can everyone beat the scores? So it is changing it from, okay, just put on the headset. What's the coolest thing we can do for this one person? To what's this experience when you can take someone else away and have everyone kind of else play it together.
Well,
So
also making that live action movie of Ready Player One, that kind of that definitely helped.
Yeah.
Because that live action movie really made people think like, well, shit, man. I mean, that would be awesome if we had this little online network we physically go to. Meanwhile, anime fans are just like, it's Sword Art Online.
Yeah,
What?
we knew that
What do you
already.
think we guys doing? Like everybody getting into Squid Game right now. I was just like, dude, that's like 5 different anime off the top of my head. What are you talking about? I mean,
Nothing new to see here.
Yeah, there's that lag there, but I mean, I might watch it. I don't know, but it's blowing up. So where I think that's going to be the effect, because we've already seen it happen with other things. This technology, and Lord help us if fucking people like Elon's chip in the brain.
Oh God.
Oof. Yeah.
Did you imagine trying to pick out hackers then?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, must have camera on face so we can see when you're twitching. No, he's deaf. No, he's having a seizure. Calm down. Got a review board just for that. Oh man, the Neuralink is going to cause problems. I don't want to be right.
It's so exciting though. Like
And migraines.
Yeah, migraines. Like the potential of it. Like the thought you could just think it and anything comes back to you. Amazing. Like you said, if your memory gets ransomware, we're not going to let you remember what your kids look
exactly.
like unless you pay us 20 Bitcoin.
And unless you open your eyes and you see that FBI warning, like you can't.
Please, it's going to be the future Shiba coin.
You must pay $400,000 in order to wipe this warning away.
That's going to be the next scam.
But I can't see. I can't walk. Okay.
Anybody else get that blind scam? I can't move. I can't go to work.
Why did I click on it? Oh God.
I'm glad I learned Braille.
So what? If I could ask, like, what games are you guys playing currently? Like, what's in your current queue?
Currently, I am playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm going through that one. Really enjoying it. Reliving that first game with that beautiful graphics quality is really, really good.
I'm doing a replay through of Last of Us 1 and 2 with the DLC. Nice. And then when I just want to kill time, I'm usually just playing NHL 22 or NBA 2K22.
Nice. Yeah, I just finished up Hades, which is a isometric
really
robot.
Good.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
It was made by the same people who did Transistor and Bastion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Super Giant Games. It's just those people can't seem to do anything wrong. So
they also give them away for free on Epic, like fucking whenever they can.
The Epic once a week you get a free Epic game?
Yeah, that's pretty much the only time people actually log into Epic on PC. It's like, what's the free game? Okay, thank you.
Okay, I guess I'll play Fortnite.
Now I'm gonna go play Fortnite.
Big brother, what are you playing?
I just got done playing Infamous Second Son, and I've also been replaying Oblivion.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a commitment.
What's going on?
Big brother is a huge fan of Skyrim and all the Elder Scrolls series.
You also been playing Star Citizen.
What platform is Skyrim on? Like, where can I buy it?
It's
on your fridge, and it comes on every phone across the world.
They're gonna eventually U2 that shit, and you're just gonna walk out of your house, and a tree's just gonna have. Oh, you're finally awake.
Yeah, you're gonna stumble down your steps. It's like, oh, you're finally awake.
Now, have you ever played Skyrim in VR?
No,
I have wanted to.
I am not a masochist. I mean, I'm Irish, but yes, I am a masochist, but not that level of masochist.
No, if you're a fan, you definitely need it. Changes the entire game. That's the only recommendation of a new Skyrim I will tell you to double buy. It's VR, the VR edition.
Look,
it completely changes.
The only reason I would buy that is if they actually add in a logical auto fucking save. I don't want to play for 5 fucking hours and realize, oh my God, I didn't save that entire time. And your whole fucking time is wasted. I hate that even more than turn-based games. I really do. My God.
You can mod it yourself where you put a logic in there where you sleep. No. Yes. You can code it.
I'm not modding.
You can code it yourself.
Mr. IT
Oh,
professional.
coding. Yeah.
I'm not coding.
We got that type of time on our
Look, you just got to code. Oh, really?
Just go on Reddit.
That'll
copy
get you
and paste.
canceled on Twitter, Mr.
code,
Fancy Pants. Telling
The
me
mod,
how
the
to
mod
learn
that
to code.
always for that type of stuff, the one that always works for me is the infinite carry.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just- It's like I live in meat space every day. Like I know I can only carry so much. I don't need that in my video games. And I'll be damned if I have to like sort through 100 cabbages just so I can get something that I want. So
I hold on to everything. But we also had the story about a month or so ago of the dad playing Skyrim who did not get rid of anything. He was a Skyrim hoarder.
And he
His
was playing,
son got him a new Xbox, a Series X, with Skyrim on it, and then put all the mods on it. So he got him unlimited carry, and he was so amazed at how fast he could run.
he was playing 360 version. So like before mod.
Wow.
So he was dedicated
so
Yeah.
wait, so he was doing that like half speed the entire time?
entire time. Entire fuck. The commitment, the masochism to that. That has even Dark Souls fans being, damn, dude, calm down.
This is the hill I'll die on. Like, my God.
Here's my master sword.
Yeah.
It totally sounds like a dad, though, a dad thing to do. It's like, well, no, I can't throw it away. I'm going to need this. It might not be now.
I think there
With
was
the
an
cabbage.
ulterior motive there because if he was a dad, he's like, no, I'm playing my game because it's serenity for him.
As soon as I get to the next town, I'll be out to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come to dinner
Suckers.
tomorrow.
Like they maybe just be playing the long con there.
Jeff, do we know if Skyrim Granny is still alive?
Yeah, she is. Curry? Shirley Curry?
Yeah, what was her story?
She's gonna
Yeah,
be
she's-
an NPC in the next one, I believe, because
Yes.
they
If
saw her.
she survives, I don't know. It might. I don't know what's her status at that. The next Skyrim.
They
the
got
next Elder
technology to
Scrolls.
rebuild people now. You know? There's plenty of screen time. Plenty of screen time. You know.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah,
the.
no.
We'll get a Elon neural link into her and just move her consciousness into the new Skyrim game. She can live forever.
There you go.
Yeah, in
That's it.
VR, you're good.
Yeah.
On your fridge and your phone.
In the age when we're launching 90-year-old Enterprise captains into space, I'm not putting anything past it.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good point.
Good use of everyone's time.
I still
Touching
think he,
space. Rich people touching space.
I still think he should have did a fuck you Picard, or something like that. Just be classy. I might have the definition of that word wrong.
Why does the spaceships that they're going to space with have to look so phallic?
Maybe they don't want to have subtlety. They're like, I don't know if everyone's going to get it, so I just want to be really clear what this is about.
And you got to penetrate space. You really got to show it. Get it in there deep.
Really jam it.
You got to do it multiple times. In and out and in and out and in.
Well, no,
Get
Elon's
that $1 in.
Elon's the real one because he's like, no, you don't just jam a new rocket into space. You keep reusing the old one, baby, up and down. We're going in and out of space a bunch with the same rocket.
He's done.
One by one, they all walked away slowly.
It wouldn't be the first time. But we'll hop on over to our first story I have here. Obviously we have he's going to switch it over here. Boom! You can find a New Dad Gaming right here, newdadgaming.com. We also join us tonight for a trailer dump of fandom. Disney delays again. A new live-action series is a Static Shock. And so much more on the Triforce podcast. We hop on over to the first story because The Cape Crusader is the new animated series that we always wanted. No trailers or anything yet,
Wow, what ears?
but there's they're going old school with this shit.
It's like in the vein of the 90s. The 90s.
Yeah, they're going into
Batman.
that classic kind of, noir feel for this, like they did in the old one. But they're saying this is for adults. This is an adult Batman, but
So
it's a cartoon.
So it's not going to be on Fox in the afternoon.
It's not going to be on Fox then.
Okay. Just making sure.
But the creatives behind Batman the Caped Crusader revealed a first look at the upcoming HBO Max animated series at this weekend's DC Fandom, showing off the noir-inspired Gotham City. Bunch of pictures and some footage to where they said they released like a little web video in like 2018, and that's where they kind of captured this.
Okay.
The classic Batman satchel pouches rather.
With the belt.
Yeah, with the belt.
Yellow?
Where do you get
The yellow belt.
toys?
Yeah. Obviously, we're getting long ears, but he said, creator says, my elevator pitch of this show is that it's more Batman the Animated Series than Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
It's not like
and
green.
redundant.
It's green.
Oh, very-
wow. Gee,
yeah.
great. Thanks.
It's green.
It's great. It's so great.
Yeah. He said, my idea was to say, okay, it's 1990 again. I get to do what I want this time. And I have JJ and Matt backing me up, which through the whole video they had there, JJ Abrams was just like, oh, yeah, we just wanted him to do it. Because you have the original Batman animated series, obviously captured a lot of fans' hearts. And now this guy's saying, now I get to do what I want. So all those perfect stories that we got for like Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, the creation of her, we're now getting this guy saying, yeah, but this is what I really wanted to do. If it turns out like Harley Quinn season 1 and 2, I mean, I'm not going to be mad.
What are you guys' thoughts on the Batman?
I mean, if we're going back to the original, like if he can capture that spirit of that and push it forward, I'm all on board, because that was some of my favorite TV back in the day. Was watching that Batman, and now rewatching some of that because I have gone back and seen it after the DC Fandom. A lot of it was just inappropriate for what age I was at the time.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it was so memorable. I don't know. Like Harley Quinn, oh my gosh.
So he's thanking his parents that he was able to watch this content.
Back then, man, it was go watch your cartoons. They didn't fucking watch that.
This was pre-rating system, too.
And they were putting in the jokes for the adults because they thought adults are watching this with their kids. No, they aren't. No, you're just corrupting a whole new generation of kids. This is what happened
there,
to
Billy.
us. This is exactly what happened to us and why we're here at therapy. I mean, the podcast.
They can take some of those stories. Like you mentioned Mr. Freeze, and that really, some of those scenes when he's looking at his wife and like the music and the panning, like that was powerful stuff. So if they get to, but they had to it's like, look, it's got to be a tight 20 because we got to shove at least like 4 Pop-Tart commercials in here. And no, you can't do more than one episode because it's for kids. I mean, if they can kind of play in that space, but be able to elongate it like a lot of new modern television has, like big, like you mentioned with the new Harley Quinn show, like this big, long storylines that go in without being overly and it's dramatic about their stories. It's still awesome stuff, right?
So well done. And especially Harley Quinn. I was like, you got a series about Harley Quinn? And then I watched it, and the guy who plays King Shark is my fucking favorite. Ever. Love that fucking dude's voice. Because his voice for King Shark, I can't fucking remember his name, but his voice for King Shark is fucking perfect.
If you look at it, Mark Hamill's gone on record with interviews regarding the series of not being able to like push like the visceral envelope with the language, but giving that context to what was asked to being delivered, and he was spot on. And then you look at what carried over into the Arkham games, he was able to just ramp it up to 11 at that point.
Oh yeah,
so
those were masterful games too.
They
were some of the best.
The whole series is just, if you that's another one of those titles. If you have that flashy, hey, you don't got this in your library, I'm clicking it, I'm buying it because it's on sale and I want that. I need that now. My digital hoarding aside, we've already well covered that. My problems.
All right, I'll contact JG Wentworth because you want it now.
So
we've had that button this whole time.
Oh my god! Dude, I have just for when these fuckers are unappreciative. I got this one.
Okay.
That's amazing.
I almost feel insulted because I guess nothing we've said so far has been funny enough for that.
It's actually the opposite. If I'm engaged in the conversation, I forget these buttons are fucking here besides the beginning and end of the show.
There you go.
Because
good save.
Whenever I do a good save, it's always
that was a good segue.
A good segue onto the next story.
That's my son.
That's his son, Connor. We exploit the voice of Connor all the time. Like,
It's not exploitation. His father approves.
oh, yeah, we have parental consent. Like watching this next story. Black Adam. We finally got some goddamn footage for this shit.
Good.
Man, once Black Adam, like you see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the Fandom, and he still looks fucking huge when they're zoomed out. Like, I could barely see everybody else. That's The Rock. I know those shoulders and that bald head anywhere. And then they zoom in, and he's the fucking Rock. He's awesome. We see
it's either The Rock or 6 guys in a trench coat. It's either or.
And the fact that they got Pierce Brosnan.
Fucking Pierce Brosnan is Dr. Fate. I've always loved that. And he's saying this is, an amazing movie. There's nothing else like it, because I will repeat this fact. This movie has been in the works longer than the Marvel movie universe. This trends all the way back to 2000, and I think it's like 2007, that they were trying to make this movie a Black Adam movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's how long this has been.
He's been an actor since 2000.
He was literally, he's perfect for the role. It's like he was born for this fucking role as Black Adam, and he's super into it.
Everything that this guy touches turns to gold. I mean, he's got his show.
Look, you can see him right there. Of course,
because
that's him.
he's an action figure.
He's right there.
He's
You're
a
like-
living action figure.
And if you ever want to be inspired, his fucking Instagram is what you need to watch.
Look at his Vanity Fair interview, because he went on record saying that Hollywood's just like, yeah, you got to do this, and he was just like, you know what? And then he's like, I can curse in here, right? And they say, yeah, you can curse. He's like, fuck it, I'm being me. So and then and it just goes right into,
And he's also right in Warner Brothers' face. No, you need to get Henry Cavill. You need to get him in here.
He's championing Henry Cavill to come back to be Superman.
Are you going to tell this man no? I'm not. Sure, man. Bring him in. We'll get him in. You want him in your movie? We'll put him in your movie. I don't fucking care. Let's do it.
Yeah,
That's how you do it, man. I mean, when he's speaking for the fans, though, I think they're going to listen.
And he gives the fan what they want. That's for sure.
Yep.
He is
Scorpion
the people's
King.
champ.
That's because they smell what he's cooking. Yeah. That's very simple.
He's a great chef.
He's the bedrock of any production.
Yeah, he's got a big case of poontang pie for you to munch up. If that's your thing, go
One
for
of the
it.
best things ever.
He's got a great foundation.
When I was a kid, I went to SmackDown when I was in Philadelphia, and they have, like, a lot like us. They have end credits. So their end credits after the show, it was The Rock and Chris Jericho on stage, and The Rock was asking Chris Jericho what his favorite kind of pie was. It doesn't matter what your pie is. It was the best. But it's also the best with this trailer, because we finally get this. They're pretty much summoning him, saying, she's out. And he's like, oh, yeah? Shit's about to go down. So we know that we're getting the Justice Society of America, which has not really been highlighted until Stargirl, and even Legends of Tomorrow had it, but now we have a film version
touched upon.
of it's been touched like a I'm not going to go to the Catholic school joke, but the lineup includes Atom Smasher of Noah Centineo, Hawkman, Cyclone, Dr. Fate, obviously Pierce Brosnan, and of course The Rock as Black Adam. Earlier this year, Hiram Garcia, president of production and Johnson's 7 Bucks Productions, told Polygon that the Black Adam creative team's top priority was to bring the anti-hero's array of powers to life. The philosophy seemed apparent. It's not like you see him move super fast just one time. You see him fly just one time. We're doing techniques that you'll never have seen before, bringing him to life. So we're going to see some new technology that they've brought out to make this movie happen as well.
This guy, just him alone, is bringing the powerhouse of production, because he is worth so much money, and he's doing this through his own studio that he's founded
He
with
probably
his
did
ex-wife.
2 other movies at the same time while doing it. The man's so fucking motivated and driven.
I don't think he sleeps. Does he sleep, or does he just
Just
No,
hangs upside
just
down for a little
lifts
bit,
weights.
and that's it.
Just lifts weights 24
That's
hours.
it. That's
a day.
his
That's how you
resting
get
mode.
that thing.
He's lifting weights.
And eating
Here's a-
massive quantities of food.
Look
Yeah,
at
do you guys have any concern about the tone of this one matching the tone of Shazam and where they've kind of taken that? Because if I'm not mistaken, Shazam and Black Adam are kind of the arch rivals, no?
Yeah, but they're saying that it's gonna be Shazam versus Black Adam in Shazam 3.
Okay.
And the kid playing Shazam, Billy Batson, is gonna be 35. And
That's right.
nothing like Zachary Levi.
Hello, fellow kids.
Like now he's playing like a high school, I think like a high schooler, a middle schooler, or some shit like that in the second movie, and he's like fucking growing facial hair. You're like, come on, Billy.
Oh, they recreate anybody. They'll de-age him. It's
Oh
fine.
yeah. I mean, you look at like
Yeah,
Michael Douglas and
Wizard Lightning,
I don't
something,
know what you're
something.
talking
Oh no, it's a
about.
new kid.
yeah. So I'm excited for Black Adam because it seems that they've taken the time using new stuff, the volumetric cameras, LED screens, super high speed photography. They're pulling out all the stops for it, but we're gonna get to see it July 29th, 2022.
And then we're off to the Batcave.
Exactly, with the next story, because Matt Reeves' Batman also dropped the trailer. Set in Gotham City, Batman finds Bruce complete with throwback Batmobile, a speeder bat bike, and a costume that might be made of guns.
Really, you can't maximize it. You can't go full screen.
So
Look at this.
yeah,
Just reload the story.
so the costume might be made of guns, but charting the waters of a crime-infested world. This is a detective story, noir. They've also said Batman's going to be in the suit 60% of the time. Because
Okay.
this version of Batman, he hasn't crafted the persona of Bruce Wayne. Because Batman is Batman. That's why when he holds the lasso of truth, he's like, I'm Batman. So this really touching on that, once again, something that we really haven't seen emphasized like that, and his detective nature that we haven't really seen glossed on like this. I'm really excited for this movie, especially with this fucking trailer.
So I like the trailer. I like, what they're presenting. I'm just curious of what they think of Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne Batman.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't on board at the beginning. I was thinking Twilight. I'm like, how is he gonna get Batman across, and is he gonna do a voice to get it going? But seeing the trailer, I don't know. He's a pretty good fit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to see more of it, but he looks the part.
Yeah.
Like I think he looks more like a Batman almost than anybody else that has ever played. I won't way better than George Clooney. Let's not even go there. But
So low
I think he can do it. And if they work on this detective
could
stuff
play
and all that stuff,
Batman.
that can work. I mean, if we have to go through a whole rebirth of Batman and find out, his origins again, I'm gonna go to sleep for the first bit. And
Now they
just wake
did
up
say that we're not going to see the origins. It's going to be like
That's good.
moments like that build up to him. Like it's it's more of a this is a gloss over.
Yeah, we
point
don't
that
need the
they're gonna have.
46 telling
We don't need that.
showing of,
Yeah, it's like-
his,
You
of
don't
his
have to
parents
kill
dying.
Martha and what's
We don't have to kill Martha and
Please.
Thomas again.
We got it. I know you love killing them, but come on.
It's like Uncle Ben. Let him
Could you
stay
imagine
dead.
the
Yes,
casting for that?
yes.
Could you imagine the casting for that? Oh, you're reading for Martha. No, I'm not. I'm not saying anything. I'm just laying there.
Oh, so this is going to be a short role. All right, I'll book that other movie next week then. Thank you. So,
I will
think that-
say if you have any inclination of Robert Pattinson, watch out Water for Elephants. It is a good movie. He does carry some range in that. It will kind of it'll sway you either way. You either will like it or not, and that will kind of guide you what you think. But he does deliver a good performance in that movie.
And he sparkles in the light.
yeah.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby,
It's-
twinkle, twinkle.
It's hard to fight crime and be the Dark Knight when you sparkle.
Sparkle, sparkle.
Vampires
Where's
turn to
Batman?
bats.
He's in the
Bats
corner
turn to
twinkling.
Batman. Just like,
Sparkling and looking fabulous.
Meta Batman. But Matt Reeves shoots his Batman in extreme widescreen, which sounds dirtier than I made it intend. And with
You get to see him in extreme widescreen like you've never seen him before. Or like you've ever wanted to see Batman. See him like never.
We're going to bring it to you in 32:9 format.
More Batman than you can handle. Patterson.
So it's almost
You guys fit right in, man. I'm telling you.
Sponsored by the Hairy Donut.
Visit the chocolate brownie across the street. It's almost black and white film quality with a burst of sun or splash of fire, which breaks through it and later in the trailer. So there's a nice artistic look at it. I've liked the bat suit and the premise of this, of having a more detective-based Batman. And it's just not the same regurgitating, bullshit that we've seen. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to know the character. And
It's a good Inception story of how Batman eventually became the Batman that we know.
Well, yeah, it's year 2. He's got a fucking car. He's got a bike. He's got a nice place set up in the cave under his parents' house.
Goes ring.
I kind of really made Batman sound like Steve Carell or somebody in 40 Year Old.
Alfred lets him go out sometimes.
No, who's the guy in fucking Grandma's Boy? He lived in the fucking basement, the weed dealer.
That was Dante. That was Dante. With the monkey. With the monkey.
He has bats, even better. He didn't need a monkey. He's got a whole bat security system there.
No one's gonna break into my house with the king of the jungle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when your fucking front door's a waterfall, like who's gonna fucking go through that?
Not me.
If you're a gamer, you would immediately go through that waterfall because something's behind it.
There's a chest back there.
You're testing the invisible wall theory.
Pot of gold.
Sparkling. It's sparkling.
I've played Legend of Zelda. I know the people behind that waterfall.
Hey, it's dangerous out there. Take this.
A certain group told me not to go chasing waterfalls, right?
Yes, that was TLC.
Stick to the 7-digit numbers,
I think we're on to the next story.
We are, because we also got
It's a Flash.
a different Batman, kind of, in the Flash trailer. This trailer had so many fucking, dick tease moments that you're not, like, with the Batman, you just see his pointy ears in the back of his head. The Batmobile, you see it covered up by the sheet and the drape, and then you see 2 Flashes, 1 Supergirl, giggity.
No, don't.
It's okay. One's himself from the future, so it's totally fine. Maybe, I don't know.
That
still count
that
as
is
a
what we call
three-way?
Stalking.
That's a very good. Would that still count as a 3-way if it's yourself from the future?
It would be weird either way.
Now, if you weren't with that woman in the future, that would be considered cheating for the woman that you're married to, though.
I think we're going down
Depends on
the
the
wrong
timeline.
vein, giggity.
That is true. We're supposed to be talking about Flash. Here we see the Batman ears. Steer that car right back up on the road.
You're welcome.
It's like Montana. Just keep it between the fences. So we see that. We also see here, we see the older, more emo future Flash in the back. We see our Ezra Miller that we know and love. And then Sasha Calle as Supergirl in the cave. So Ezra Miller also said, Batmobile right here. He also said that there might not be any villains in this movie, which I kind of like the concept of that.
How do you have a movie without villains? Was he just going
How do we know?
Trapped in time. Time's the villain.
How do we know what's a villain and what's
The actual universe itself could be the villain, because obviously you have a Flash make a mistake. It's the whole point of Flashpoint. He's learning, oh shit, I shouldn't run that fast.
Who's the
and mess with future and save my mom.
Who's the president?
No, we can fix that.
If it can be, Flashpoint was such an amazing story. Like the thought of the twist, especially just on who Batman and Joker were in the alternate future. Like the kid dies and the 2 parents split off, and the mom being Joker because she went insane because the kid died. Like that was such a punch in the gut. That was amazing. Yeah. So when they started to do this, I'm like, are they going to go that dark? Like, are they going to be that literal with Flashpoint?
That's why I really hope Joker, that alternate ending that he wanted to do, was that Joaquin Phoenix kills fucking Bruce Wayne in the alleyway at the end, and then boom, this universe has no Batman. It was metal as fuck. But I also thought that would have been the perfect setup for a Flashpoint universe with this original Joker, and that would be the trauma causing Martha Wayne to become the Joker, and then Thomas Wayne like, I gotta stop my bitch wife with guns.
Old school.
Obviously,
what a great way to explore the
divorce.
character too, because like the next guy who has to try to play Joker, if you think about the lineage he has to follow now, so Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger, like what are you going to do to the character? Jared Leto, I suppose. But if it's a woman that got to take a shot at it, how
in
cool
Snyder
would that be?
Cut, I liked Jared Leto. The Ayer Cut, I did not like him at all. But in the Snyder Cut, I really felt like maybe we do need an Ayer Cut, especially if he delivered more character-wise.
He had more character development in the 3.5 minutes in the Snyder Cut than he had in the whole movie of Suicide Squad.
Yep.
That's just mind-blowing.
Well, he was only in Suicide Squad for like 5 minutes, so that's, only 2 minutes.
He had 3 scenes with in the movie. That's still...
And then like she fell and like landed on a car and was like fine for some reason, right? Am I remembering that right? I try to forget
troubling you can't remember.
Or
try to
forcibly
forget it.
scrubbed from my memory.
I really try to forget that one because the second
like you said, we're not punching down. We're just forgetting.
Yeah. I can't punch down if I don't know where the hell I was meaning to punch. So there we go. It's all gone. But
the Snyder Cut was just I was really surprised how much of a difference that made. Like it's like this was the actual movie. This is awesome. Like I didn't honestly, and to be clear, I didn't actually mind the other Justice League that bad. It's like, this is fine. Action movie, punchy, Batman.
Yeah, it was just campy.
Yeah, neat. But then when you watch the Snyder Cut, it's like, damn, this is the movie we could have had. This is crazy. And if they can kind of keep that sort of pedigree up for Flash and anything else,
it would have launched that universe so much quicker because especially with Discovery helming the WB's ventures in animated and live action and film, that I'm more inclined to trust them than the people who have
and the
been
new
steering
Suicide Squad. Because imagine what would have came if we had
Peacemaker and all that. Now we don't know when these projects were approved, but it's like The Mandalorian. Now we're getting all this other content that fans are like, you know what? I would like another one of those, and I'd love to see that. It's that promise there.
Yep.
To where it doesn't matter if anybody actually changed seats. They are trying to do something differently. So, fuck it. I'll allow it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it seems like a lot more risk is coming down the pipe, which is great. So there was the What If series on Disney, where it's just, what if I don't know, Wonder Woman was a zombie? Like they just went ape shit nonsense. Like it was crazy and great. Yeah. Then also with the Star Wars stuff they did. I'm blanking on the name, but they had these like 15-minute
Star Wars Visions.
Yeah. But same thing where it's this beloved property, like very much like protected and careful. It's like, nah, make him a samurai, whatever, have some fun. Besides
the one where only the androids needed a space helmet. Like everybody else was like fucking partying and fucking waving their lightsabers and using the force out in the vacuum of space. And then here comes this android with a fucking space helmet on.
Innuendo included.
Like, I get it. It's a cartoon, but can we have some fucking continuity here?
I think we need to go to the next story.
Probably. Because there's going to be a lot more cursing with...
That was a good segue.
Peacemaker. I switched the page. Hang on.
That was a good segue.
Thank you, Connor.
Thank you. So Peacemaker, obviously, with the success of the Suicide Squad, we now have a Peacemaker show. And with the trailer, it's just fucking Peacemaker. John Cena plays this role so well. I really enjoyed watching Fandom, especially when I got to the panel here for Peacemaker. Because, one, they all seem like a fucking tight-knit family with actors, that's like few and far between you see with films. Usually it's like, fuck that guy. He's cool. Like, whatever.
Especially in the era of COVID where it's like everybody was just doing their lines, doing their scenes, or being in front of a green screen and performing their points. But now, like, this movie is one of the few movies that they actually go on set and they do all their scenes together now that, it's coming back to some semblance of a normality here.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the premise of Peacemaker, and I love that they were able to continue this. This woman, I forget her name. It's like Anya or something, the character.
But the fact that they made Peacemaker like Captain America.
Vigilante.
But like just, fuck all.
Well,
Captain
yeah.
America.
He's been in like looking through some of the comic stuff. He has been like that character, but seeing John Cena do this, like he has this whole other level when he has this kind of comedic flair. His delivery, like, oh, this is the butt baby moment when he's talking about the butt babies. I used to think I was a butt baby. My brother had me thinking I was a butt baby for a while. Like, it just looks so much different. And then they're saying there's actual character development because you see here Peacemaker's talking to his dad and his, of course, yeah, you ain't shit, kind of attitude, to where there's a lot of character development. And that actually is taking some flair from stuff like The Boys and other things that really kind of build on this natural satirical viewpoint of comics.
Yeah.
But evolving it to a realistic view. And I think shows like this are really important.
Is there any other Suicide character? Oh, sorry, go Jeff.
No, if they can harness that, like the Boys vibe to that, where it's kind of in here and you see that real part of a superhero, because if superheroes existed, they'd be dicks. Like they wouldn't be. Honestly, you can't tell me what to do. Like
Jeff's just going for it.
Dick. And you know what? Ultimately, Superman would end up like either Homelander or, to bring it to Marvel, Centurion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
They would completely. Lord help us if he was like fucking Omni-Man. Like, my God. Like the fucking Invincible. Jesus. Robert fucking Kirkman, man. I watched Walking Dead, and then Bob, he was like, oh, no, you got to read the comic. And that's what got me reading comics again, is Robert Kirkman in The Walking Dead.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, what else does he have? I checked out recently Invincible. I read 11 volumes like a crackhead, and I loved every minute of it. And it's just, this man has this way of saying, this is an interesting idea. How much murder can I put in here?
How much is allowed at PG-13? How many swears? Okay, then.
I can work in between that. Let's go. Because you look at like the
avoid the rated R by only saying fuck once.
But then you get like the train scene. That was fucking brutal. He held his kid's head like this. Like, when are you gonna learn your lesson? That's child abuse. Nobody called anybody about it.
Or just strict parenting. One or the other.
Fucking, even the parents.
You
in the
get
50s.
out there and use your head to stop that train.
The Spider-Man did it. And he
Mow
didn't
the
even have
lawn
that.
after you're done.
No allowance. No games.
I think that's a good property. Just like this next story. You'll see Peacemaker on HBO Max January 16th of 2022. So we don't have that much longer to wait for Peacemaker. But unlike this next story, we may be waiting a little bit longer to see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which of course is...
That was a good segue.
Not to wear that button out because I can't. Disney delays the upcoming Marvel movies again.
Are you surprised though?
No, not really.
No, not at all. They announced the delays for its 2022 Marvel films, along with the upcoming 5th Indiana Jones movie, which have been pushed back to later in the year or moved to 2023 entirely. Marvel movie shifts are usually the chain reaction delay to the pushback. One movie means pushing back all of them. So there's the domino effect there a bit. Doctor Strange now coming out on May 6th from the March 25th date.
Okay, that's
Which,
not really that bad.
That's taken Thor Love and Thunder's place, so we got to move that back to where to July 8th, to where Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever originally was, and now that's moved to November.
This is Disney, a multinational corporation, and they can only do one thing at a time?
Yeah.
You can't film 2 movies at once? Come on now.
Dude, see what happened was all their money is in the savings account, and they got to move it to the checking account.
They invested into crypto wallets.
So it takes time to transfer.
Then with the director, I had to Venmo the director, but he gave me the wrong one. So I gotta get it back. That's a week.
And there was this weird configuration with Zelle and PayPal.
All strange. All strange. So, bringing it back to the Doctor of Strange. The Marvel movie is Marvel's moving from November 11th to February 17th, 2023. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania now is taking a July 28th, 2023 time slot.
They've effectively just moved back and took each other's spots.
And then Untitled Marvel films. Obviously, they moved some out and they moved others into the time slots in 2023. So we'll have to see what is announced there. But we know what's coming. We know Blade's coming. We know the Fantastic Four is coming. We know the mutants for, X-Men. Got to be culture or gender appropriate for that one. Lord knows we can't call it the name of the fucking property. But there's other names you could use. X-Force, Xavier's pals and chums. I don't know. Fucking think of something.
X-Zar.
Disney.
Xavier's buddies.
Xavier's buddies. That sounds so much more friendly. And then the first scene is Cyclops opening up his optic eye.
Go,
and
gifted
blasting
kids.
Someone. Scar 'em early, like we were. But a bunch of untitled movies being swapped around here. With
do you guys mind it? Do you get upset? Like, I find I'm generally just thinking as long as it's good and they keep up the quality. Yeah, and take a month, take a couple months, like get it right. You guys like a little perturbed by it? Like
I've
extra
calmed
time?
down on it, especially after I forget this. I think it was like Universal with Sonic the Hedgehog. They released the trailer.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "That is terrible. Go to your room." And they were like, "Okay, all right."
Have you redo this assignment? I know you can do
And
better.
they fucking took a year and said, "All right, how about this?" And it was a fucking box office explosion. Everybody
right
watched
before
it.
COVID too.
And it had nothing to do with the games. It was just Sonic. You saw a little bit of the first level,
Yeah, the
Green Hill
nuances
Zone,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
but that was it. It was just Sonic and our world, and it was a good movie.
And he was in the car for most of the time. You
Yeah.
think that might be a bit slower for the fella, but that's okay.
This is
Sure.
fine. He's hanging out. There was no running. And
Why would
people
you have him
still
go
loved
fast? That's not integral to the character.
So he's just a hedgehog. You could take
the second
it easy.
the second Sonic is going to be Sonic and Hooch. It's like Turner and Hooch. It's like a buddy cop movie now.
Sonic
Gotta go
Tells, yeah.
shotgun.
So we also come to our next story, which is our ad segment, of course, for our man, Frank One Punch Percy, inker of Punisher War Journals himself. You can find him out on the con circuit, and Frank is out there doing
Yes,
the
Frank is a buddy of ours. He is amazing. He's
got,
used to ink for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own projects in the mix, and this is his website.
his new project, which is Caribe the Hunted, which I have talked with him about extensively. It's just such a good comic. First book is, I think, completed. The second one's being worked on. He's got a lot of projects there, but we always like to highlight them right here in between the transition to the gaming realm, which is our next story, we were just talking about live action remix so serendipitously. This has to be a good segue. But
That was
a
good
live
segue.
action system a live
Static
action system shock.
Static.
It says system. Fucking
System shock.
autocorrect. God damn it.
Static Shock.
Fuck it. Yeah, but the next story is Binge, the video game focused on entertainment streaming. Yeah, the next story, Steve.
It's loading.
Oh, fuck.
said
Our
stall,
internet
damn
is. Oh. I didn't hear you say stall, but now, well, this is technically stalling, I guess.
Yes.
But Frank loves systems. What is it? System Static Shock. Static Shock was a great show back in the 90s. A cartoon.
The cartoon, yeah. I was wondering have they not brought that onto the DC streaming service? Isn't there a live action one of that now?
They're making a film for Static Shock, I believe. Hey, finally loaded up. Fuck you, Game Informer. But Binge, the video game focused entertainment streaming platform, will launch in 2022. It's working on a live action adaptation of System Shock. This adaptation will stream exclusively on Binge, and the series is being produced with help from Night Dive Studios, according to Deadline. Night Dive has owned the rights to System Shock since purchasing it from now defunct Looking Glass Studios in 2012.
Okay.
Are you confident in this IP, old man, for a live-action jobby? Because we're still not in paved roads when it comes to gaming adaptations.
Video games transitioning to live action.
I mean, they're usually shit.
With the exceptions of being Sonic and Detective Pikachu.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat on HBO Max. That's another exception.
Yeah.
Witcher's animated and
the live action.
The live action was based off the books and not necessarily.
Oh yeah, but you can, fuck it. I'll add it in there just for credit.
The games were based off the books and they were condensed. So
we need a win here.
So it's the transitive property.
Stop poking holes in our win.
Take the W. Take the W.
This is where,
got big Swiss cheese.
this is where I throw the math in. If A plus B equals C, boom. There you go.
Yeah, but you're talking A plus Tuesday equals 127. It doesn't work.
What's wrong with
If you add in chicken nuggets and subtract lemon juice,
With sweet and sour.
that's how you get there. But
Get someone
So
else
stuff
who
like
doesn't know what to cook.
System Shock, it's the times really kind of felt like just let's throw it at the wall. Let's do a bunch of cocaine. Let's lock ourselves in a room and come up with a concept.
You know what it reminds
Stephen King method, I like it.
You know what it reminds me of Lawnmower Man a lot. So
Yeah, there you go. So you think about The Witcher and how, it's novels, like good written books, like this is interesting. All right, build a game, build a story. It makes sense. System Shock was, which I almost feel like now I'll do research and find out it's actually this like 30-year project of like a literary genius, and I'm just besmirching it. But thinking back on the game, it really felt kind of just, I don't know, like computers and people rocking through. Cool, kids will love it. Like ship it. Let's make some money.
that's why.
And I thought that we're gonna base a show off of this with like a long arch with actual actors. Feels
That's
a bit
why.
shallow.
That's why I will hold the exception for The Last of Us because they're converting that to a live action show on HBO.
Yeah,
Because the person who written it, he's actually directing the HBO live action show as well. So he's got like
Neil
all
Druckmann,
all the content that he wrote for the game because he wrote the script before he built the game.
Well,
Like,
who
all the
better?
mechanics of the game. So,
You know what I mean?
So that I'm excited for that one. And then
It's like getting Hideo Kojima to make a Domino's Stranded. I mean, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Yeah.
When you're in
It's
the
the same
apocalypse
fucking
and you really
thing.
need a pizza.
You know?
I mean, with Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal as the two main.
You know, the
people
internet are already getting mad at Bella Ramsey because she doesn't look like Ellie.
She doesn't
You
have
just
to.
and the same fucking people probably just complained that the Alien 2 doesn't look like the Alien 1. Like, you guys got to fucking pick, okay?
You can't expect her to grow up. Of course, your facial structure is going to like change. Like
Yeah.
what the hell?
Like, no, that's not Ellie. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Maybe it's coming from a Doctor Who fan. I'm okay with people changing their faces. It doesn't matter.
As
But
long as
just
the
make it a
content
good
is good.
story. Yes, exactly. For truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. That was another thing they announced at the Fandom. Like this next story, they changed Superman's motto. That's not the next story, but the next story, the next story will have
That's
Superman.
a story we're not covering.
Yeah.
Put in someone else.
Well, I just pretty much told you. They just changed the fucking name. But one thing they didn't change is how awesome this fucking game looks for the Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League. Dropped us a trailer here. Rocksteady, the team behind groundbreaking the Batman Arkham games, is taking the Suicide Squad
Hold on.
in
Can I
as
be
the
the
next
shark?
game. Maybe.
Okay.
That's DLC. That costs extra.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But I want him to sound like King Shark from the Harley Quinn show. Or Sylvester
It has
Stallone
to
from
be
the
Sly.
fucking Suicide Squad movie.
Sly.
Well,
is
that's
definitely
not
King
that's
Shark
not
for
hard
me.
to capture that.
He
audio.
literally stole that fucking movie with hand and friend. Those two words with it, that's all he fucking needed.
Kind
That
of like
was
how
such a good
Vin
one.
Diesel stole,
With I Am
Guardians
Groot.
Yeah.
with I Am Groot.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think you'll hear some people bemoan the fact that how popular Marvel movies got and how superhero genre in general. But I think one of the best parts about it is properties like this, like, so they're kind of reaching into the outside, like Suicide Squad. The thought that, go back and tell your 10-year-old self, yeah, this like offshoot comic is going to be this awesome series of movies and now this amazing game. Yeah. No, there's no way. You're going to get your Batmans and Supermans and that'll be about it. So the thought that this popularity has them dredging up everybody else and then lets them be a bit more riskier or try something different or different formulas. I love it. So it's exciting to see this type of stuff come out of the woodworks.
And when you mention
you can't bring the misfits to the front and that not have them act not as misfits. So, it's
that's an interesting point because he mentions that. And then I think of like why I like Titans. You're grabbing characters that were like, they weren't main characters. They were like B, C-list characters. And they just highlighted them and really, emphasized their story and their character. And it turned out great. Fans fucking love it. That's what I see here with Suicide Squad, especially with the popularity of it. Like, there were people who did like the Suicide Squad. It won, like, what, an Emmy or an Oscar or some shit?
I believe so.
It won one of them. Like, okay, all right, that's fine. And nobody they were like, wow, you bought that? All right, you bought the award. But this, like, and you look at Injustice, the animated movie that just came out. They tried to copy the game. It got fucking shit-panned in reviews by critics, saying they tried to rush it and stuff too much shit in there. With video game media, in this medium that we have, you have however fucking long you want to tell your story.
Yeah, you can.
That's why properties like this will continue to grow now for DC. Because that's what they did right.
And which is why I'm glad they're doing like a live action show versus a movie. Because if it's episodic, you can space out your content. That can be more easily transitionable for video game content to go into the small screen.
Yeah.
When you try to condense it into a movie, you essentially have to have like 5 or 6 movies you're creating.
Oh, yeah. For any one game. Yeah.
With 2-hour-long segments in between. This is like,
besides maybe Flappy Birds. Did you hear the rumor they're doing fucking Fortnite as a movie?
Really?
Yeah. They're planning that. I don't know what the fuck
Angry
it's going to be
Birds.
about.
If they can do Angry Birds, they can do Fortnite.
Well, that's true. Yeah. They did. I did have that same kind of question when they said they were going to do Angry Birds. Like, about what? Property destruction?
Yeah.
Is that the message you want for your movie? Like, hey, kids, wreck your neighbor's house. Like, I don't know. It's okay with a slingshot, a pig, and a bird. I don't know about that one.
That's not violent. We're just going to throw live animals at things to try and knock them down.
They're not
What
dead.
could go wrong?
They're just asleep.
It's just asleep.
Yeah. They're totally consenting to it too, so don't worry about it.
They just
that's part of the end user license agreement.
So I'm really excited for this one. How are you guys feeling? Do you want to see this as like what they're doing with Guardians of the Galaxy, to where you're just Star-Lord, to where they pick a character like, nope, you're fucking King Sharker, you're Harley Quinn, or do you want that smorgasbord of let me pick my Suicide Squad member?
So like we have Marvel Avengers, where you can pick interchange your part,
but good.
Your characters. Yes,
Good.
Good. And not pay to win aspects to it too. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Don't add the grind too much.
No, I think it could work if it's like something that where you can pick your own character, because not everybody's going to want to be just one. If you could build a team and have everyone like their own character and work together or apart or against each other, that would be fun. I think that would be a cool way to do it. But it has to be good, like you said. Like, it can't be like Avengers where it was.
There was an X-Men game they did that.
Build a mechanic where in order to get past this part, you need this character. They did that in Dragon Age Inquisition as well. So
they did a X-Men game. It got, once again, shit reviews.
X-Men Legends, yes.
Yes. It was, you created your character, you picked your mutant power, and you went off there, but there was not enough in the game there to really sustain it. But I did like that premise.
It definitely wasn't sustainable.
I'm an X-Man. Like, that's the game I could get into. Like, give me an X-Man game.
The timing is good. Like, with Marvel flopping flop is probably too strong a word, for not receiving as good as reboot. For Marvel, that game being what it does. Let me try to say it that way, trying to be kind. Okay. Not well received. The way Marvel came out with their game, but that's almost kind of good for this game, because they got to watch and say, oh no, people don't like this. Oh my goodness, we can't take that out. John, take it out. They don't like it. The Marvel one's getting hammered over it.
Yeah. I think what happened with Marvel is that they gave the IP to Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, which they're good for storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
But for that type of grind heavy game, so they took the aspects of the old school Final Fantasies and then threw on Tomb Raider on top of that for as far as a mechanic and said, oh yeah, this is the game, which it did not translate well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. But I still think that there are certain properties that people are just avoiding. And like games like X-Men and stuff like that, to where you can really do that character creation, because that's still, I think, one of the last fronts of single player story that you can have the most fun with.
The best X-Men game I've ever played was the X-Men on Genesis. And you would know it.
Classic.
That. Yeah,
it is.
Yes,
it is.
The Genesis version was so much better.
And if you chose Wolverine and you just stayed stationary, your health would go back up.
That's all it took. Yeah,
that's all it took.
But then Wolverine Origins, that fucking game.
That game was awesome.
Yes,
the movie was shit,
good.
but that fucking game, I was like, oh my God, you can do Wolverine right. This is so much better than the movie.
Yeah, that's one of those titles that really feels like next gen. Like that's like what they promised us. Games are going to be like this, and then that game comes out, regrowing like the bloody and violence and everything. You're like, oh yeah, this is next gen. Yeah. They're doing what they promised us. That was amazing.
The next gen promise, like what was it, Far Cry 3 compared to like Far Cry like 4 or 5? It was the mechanics were a lot of the mechanics were so much better on 3.
A lot of people said Far Cry 3 was Far Cry like Skyrim, but Far Cry. But hey, you're playing Skyrim, but this is actually fun. that was one of the reviews. I remember that because I was working at Best Buy at the time. I was watching the marquee scroll every 4 minutes.
So the Suicide Squad, remember them? Kill the Justice League is set for release for PC, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 5 in 2022 at some point. But we're going to be going a little retro for the last story before the end segment. The retro sci-fi adventure game drops a trailer below. The Invincible is an upcoming sci-fi game announced last fall based on the 1964 novel of the same name. The game is the debut title by Stalwart Industries. Starward. There we go.
Starward Industries.
There we go.
Studio made up of ex-Techland
It's been a long
CG
day.
Project Red designers.
If that's the first name I fucked up today, I'm going to be so surprised.
I will give you a yogi button there, sir.
There we go. So, a studio made up of ex-Techland and CD Projekt Red designers. Wonder why they went over there. After sharing screenshots of the intriguing project, Starward dropped
Cyberpunk 2077.
the first trailer, which sets an intense atmosphere for the spacefaring adventure.
Unrealistic expectations.
Famed sci-fi writer Stanislaw Lem wrote The Invincible, which tells the tale of a spacecraft called the Invincible, no way, landing on planet Regis 3. Its team of explorers is on a mission to locate the missing sister ship, but the crew discovers an alien vessel from a mysterious form of self-replicating life. Cool. The trailer introduces protagonist Dr. Yasan, the woman exploring the surface of Regis 3, and her ally Astrogator. What the?
Astrogator, yes.
Well, are we
astronaut?
Are we Lokiing this shit? Is there an astronaut alligator?
He's not a navigator. He's an
It's
astrogator.
about time.
You Astrogate. I thought it was like this is an alligator who is now an astronaut.
That guy's not a gator.
DC's got King Shark. We got Astro Gator.
Day one purchase. Day one.
Title of the podcast.
Yep, title.
Stalwart describes the game as a cinema adventure thriller with branching storylines leading to multiple endings. The Invincible was previously slated for this year, but will instead launch in 2022 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. While we still don't have much of a sense of the game's moment-to-moment gameplay, the retro futuristic aesthetic and the celebrated source material should be enough for sci-fi fans to get excited. I liked this because the pretty much the verbal in this trailer was her, saying, "Hey, I'm checking out this planet. Man, this is beautiful," and then shit going awry. To where I like that, especially if they keep this first person on this planet.
Beginnings of interstellar travel, and what are you going to do? Is like, what planets are you going to visit? Like, do you sense like, is this planet going to be safe or not? Like,
I kind of like the story setup because it's like, well, your sister ship is fucked. And guess what? So are you.
That's nice to know.
It's like going into Subnautica, like, hey, there's your ship at the bottom of the fucking ocean.
I was about to say. Yeah, it's exactly like Subnautica. Subnautica with sand.
Yeah.
All right, now you're dead.
That's it. Now you're dead. Have fun.
And space parasites.
I mean, I like that.
Hashtag not my Metroid.
I liked playing Subnautica, but if they did that with like this novel, I feel like that would really fuck up the story that they're pulling it from. To where I kind of want to see them do The Witcher, to where they just kind of pull shit from the novel and make it a really good story-driven game, and just leaving it at that story-driven game. It used to be good enough for all of us. Before the
this
dark
type of trailer,
times.
I don't think does it much favor. What I worry about these type of trailers, it's so cinematic and it's well put off. They're teasing you a whole lot. Really
It's gonna be the mobile game thing, to where it's just like boom, turn based. You're like, no!
Now you're playing Raid Legends.
Card battle system.
Yeah, if you guys are making a lot of promises, you're gonna need to try to writing a lot of checks. You're gonna have to cash. Like that is
Now
heck
on
of a
episode of
trailer.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's the thing, though. There's always a lot of promises when you're doing the trailer, to where it's a nice thought, it's a nice setup.
So
I'd like to see how it's executed.
That's a good question. What cinematic trailers have delivered from a video game standpoint? I would say
Fable.
Ooh.
Fable.
BioShock.
Ooh, yeah.
Bioshock's a good one.
BioShock's
Good pull.
a good one. Yeah, I'm standing by Fable, because as soon as I saw that original Fable
Assassin's
gameplay
Creed.
trailer, oh yeah,
Arkham.
Assassin's
You mentioned
Creed.
Arkham.
Yeah, Arkham.
and Arkham, yeah. Damn, there are a
Wasn't it-
good collection of stuff that actually did
Mass
have
Effect.
a good trailer. Mass Effect was one of them.
Mass Effect was good.
Fallout
trying to think back to-
3.
Fallout 3, the beginning, yeah.
Well, both the Fallouts that I love, Fallout 3 and New
Fallout
Vegas.
4.
Into Vegas, yeah.
Oh, Fallout
Outer
4, yeah.
Worlds.
Fallout
Outer
4
Worlds.
was really good. We don't talk about the other one.
Yeah, Outer Worlds. Yeah, there's no 76s around here.
Yeah, no, we don't mention it.
Even our basketball
Even though we're in
team,
Philly.
we just called them the Sixers.
But Outer Worlds was a really great game, and that fucking trailer just had me so amped up.
I'm still trying to complete it, man.
It's just so fucking good.
Well,
I
the
always get
trailer
it confused with
was
Outer Wilds. I think it launched at the same time,
It
and I had
did.
no idea which one's which.
I didn't either. I had to Google it, but then I ended up buying Outer Wilds anyway, because fuck it, I got a problem. So, but then I played it, and it's very artistic. It's to the point to where you have like that Majora's Mask thing of
Yeah.
dung 3 days, and like I got completely fucking lost in the universe because I went through a black hole and then came out on the outer rim of the universe, and then I only had so much fuel left to get back to the place I was, and I ended up flying right into the sun. Because geometry
Classic.
is not my thing, and NASA, you're not asking for me. Not at all.
So keeping with the space theme, the No Man's Sky sort of is an interesting redemption story because the trailer for No Man's Sky dropped, and that was, massive hype immediately, especially when people found out the gameplay.
Well,
The
that's
actual
because
game,
They were
for
promising
some-
Star Citizen, but complete.
Yeah.
actually playable.
And Star Citizen can't even give that.
We know you tried a couple days ago. and
Yeah.
He's still above the bed.
Still got some problems.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't good enough to buy $20,000 ships for a video game.
I spent enough.
Oh,
money
he spent enough.
Not when his
Oh,
first
yeah.
player character with his knee in his chest.
You got to be able to walk. Yeah. And use the elevator. They're having a problem with that. always.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like Pyramid Scheme the game is Star Citizen.
It's
If they ever
amazing.
finish
It's
it.
just
Brought to you by Amway.
Wouldn't that be a bitch at next year's CitizenCon? They're like, all right, we're actually starting over. We're making a VR universe now.
certainly, with Chris Roberts, it wouldn't surprise me.
You know, like it would truly never be done. But I do like the game, like Space Marine and fucking maybe one day we'll get Squadron 42 with Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Be dope.
So all of you people bought Star Citizen. That's great. The real way to make money, though, is if you sell Star Citizen to 4 of your family members.
Here's your code. Use this code. You'll get a free bonus ship.
And then people share it on the socials. Use my code. Hop on over now. Yeah.
I'll
But
give you my invite code if you're on it.
We'd like to thank this week's sponsor, Star Citizen.
we'll email
Pop that
it over.
invite code right down the bottom there, would you?
Oh my God, I will.
Yeah, right down the bottom there.
I figured out how to edit that.
Find
in.
it.
So, speaking of editing, we'll edit on over to our main webpage at pjandwh.com. We're going to find the funniest moments of this podcast right up top with all of the funniest moments. But we end off the podcast here. One thing I thought of a while ago, and it was inspired by Kyle Hill of Because Science, and now he went on to his own YouTube channel.
That's nice.
I think he calls it The Factory or some shit. Still doing the same thing. He was on Mythbusters and stuff, but he on Because Science on the Facebook video, he had a thought experiment to where he would say, like, would you really want Wolverine's healing factor ability? No. And it was an interesting thought experiment.
Yes,
so
my
I thought
back would help it.
this would be the best way to end off a podcast. A nice thought experiment to get the brain pumping. So I thought of a nice end segment this week, especially gaming centric. What game power up would you want in real life? And why?
I got one.
Once again, Big Brother has his answer.
Wow, that was right off
First.
the bat.
Usually it's Tom Cruise's Wonder Woman. Although I didn't want to just ruin it.
It's not Tom Cruise.
Not
that.
Okay,
No, like
it's not Tom Cruise's
what was the game where you could go back in time?
Time Splitters?
With the knife, and you could go back in time.
Braid?
Prince of
Was it Braid?
Persia, where you go go back.
Oh,
in time.
Prince of
Prince of
Persia.
Persia.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd
yeah,
like
yeah.
that with the that little knife where you go back
Fuck,
in time
that's
30
such a
seconds.
Good one. I didn't even.
I'd really just.
Why did
use
I
it
date her?
Realistically, I would use it for day trading. That's
I mean,
because then
man.
you would
Why not?
be able to go back 30 seconds and make millions.
Mortimer, we're back in business. But I mean, I would like to think Metroid's suit, but maybe a male suit. But I would never be able to use the ball form or any of that. I'd probably just end up using the laser pistol to pop open my beer bottle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he would try to conform to the ball. You'll see his leg hanging out, blood coming out of the ball.
Well, that's how he died.
Super died as he
Superpowers and
lived.
all.
In a
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah, but honestly, I thought about this. I would still go for the Mario fire leaf.
The fire flower.
The fire flower. Even if it's timed, I just have, nice supply, a box of
How morbid would this
a box
be?
of
Be
a
like,
flower just popping out. I can't get the mushroom because Lord knows I'd have problems here in the U.S. about that. But especially if it made me bigger, like, phew. And then Pfizer, would you want to get in there? And Viagra, like
Performance enhancing.
So that's a whole box. You don't want to tiptoe in the Mushroom Festival window there. But I would like the blip, little fire blip, or the raccoon leaf of the raccoon ears.
Yeah, a Tanuki suit.
Yes, I would love that because one, then you have a tail.
And you can fly.
Who wouldn't want a tail? Oh yeah, and the flying too, but the tail too. I found the Tanuki suit and my little fire blip because who wouldn't want that? Especially if you could control the intensity of the fire, then it could just be like a little spark, like, ow, what was that? Like, dude, you
Your
got
coffee's a little cold. Let me get that for you.
like, dude, you got blip.
So how
Superheat that shit.
morbid would it be to have the power of Kirby? You just ingest somebody. You inherit like all their knowledge and
Once
power.
again, there's an anime for that. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's fucking fantastic. But he has this absorb ability to where he absorbs everyone, and then he just gets your fucking powers. Like the
Robotron.
Yeah. So that and
Yeah,
Kirby.
see some-
Yeah, that'd
It'd be good. You see somebody skateboarding really well, you're like, oh, you're really great at that. No, you get to skateboard really well.
What happened
Thanks,
to my
bud.
son? Is that his skateboard? Nope.
Tony Hawk. Yup.
But watch this
More.
kickflip. Hooah!
He'll
was
pass.
delicious.
He'll pass in 3 to 5 days.
Something will pass.
Yeah, I think if you could have it's various forms in different games, but just where people have infinite storage on themselves. So be it like some sort of fancy sci-fi watch or some sort of backpack, but like beep, beep, boop. And now your card just pops out of your watch. You just take it wherever you want to.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's
So some
you
sort of
pop out your
digitization
phone,
of
like
storage.
in Grand Theft Auto 4, you pop out your phone, and then out from the ether comes a boat.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
In the middle of Times Square.
it's like that old comedy bit to where they have the doctor's bag and they set the doctor's bag and they pull out like a fucking ladder and shit and you just pull all that out. That would be really fucking handy.
Dino caps.
Because you'd have to have something like that to where if you have like your pocket, there's only so much you can pull out of your fucking pocket. You know? Like, oh, where'd you get that jelly baby from? Oh, I got an infinite supply. You want one?
See, I would go with the portal gun.
Oh,
Like, I think you could do anything with it. Like, if I want a beer from the fridge right now, boop, portal gun. I take a piss, boop, portal gun.
damn, that's such a good fucking. Well, with the portal gun, remember, you got to be able to see it. So
That's right. That's right. So
you got to really plan. Like, if you got a heavy night of drinking, you're like, bloom, that's going to be
Set
helpful
the
later.
portal up ahead of time.
And then you just, nah, it's fine.
And
I
you
got
gotta
it.
put the portal in a spot where no one will walk through it and actually fall on you.
No, wait, Chris is in the bathroom. You don't go now. Don't go now. Like, what? Oh, my God.
Or you're sitting there
horror.
peeing into the portal and someone's walking into the bathroom and now they're getting sprayed.
The horror. You're peeing on my face. Ah.
Perfect.
That's where you're missing the true comedic moment. That's when you start singing R. Kelly. That was punching through the bars. That wasn't down. That was right through the bars.
through the zoomies.
One I thought I really found interesting. Nobody tiptoed into Mega Man
Oh.
because like
Well, he's a robot.
Blade Man, that could be helpful if you need to cut something. Like, hang on, I got an app for that. I'm Blade Man. Okay. All right, calm down, guy.
Your own Swiss Army knife would be perfect. What do you need? Oh, I got 20 powers I can help you out with.
Just got like 20 power. You could. That's another kind of Kirby situation. You were just like, nice power you got there, bud. Slap.
It'd be a shame if someone was to eat you entirely right now.
Wow, we really painted a bunch of psychopaths, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
That's
Totally level.
that's exactly how we end off the podcast.
We learned a lot.
We also end off with the thank yous. We want to thank you, Kelly Collins, Mark Gervais, Frank Percy, and of course, Trevor and Jeff of the New Dad Gaming. Thank you guys for stopping by. It has been an absolute fucking blast, and you're welcome on anytime. Shoot us a link. Anytime you guys have, if you want to guest on your podcast, we're here. It's obviously an option, and you're great guys to talk to. Interesting point of view. Couldn't be happier, and I hope you had fun too.
That was
Yeah,
an absolute
definitely.
riot.
Thanks for having us.
Is there anything that you guys want to need to plug or anything that you want to present?
Plug stuff here.
Man, just
Nice. So sorry, Jeff. Kind of tripping over each other at the finish line. If anyone wants to check out the show, we're at New Dad Gaming, and so we're on all the major podcast networks: Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. If you just look for New Dad Gaming, we try to record weekly with as much as we can amongst gaming and kids schedules.
Nice.
And appreciate it, liking and subscribing. Man, what an absolute blast!
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just the kind of flavor because I noticed with a lot of podcasts that you'll see a gaming podcast, you'll see, nerd podcast about Marvel and DC. You don't really see everything, like anime and comics and
Just
all
an
this.
all-encompassing one.
One podcast to take all 5 nerdy Infinity Gems and put them in one convenient podcast where we try to force it on you. Hence the name right there. Try force. We try. But
Forcefully.
we also try for a long drawn out goodbye. I am your host, Matthew Bucarell, the Matt Man, and of course, to my left, co-host Christopher Bristow, the old man. We have our omnipotent presence that is Big Brother Stephen Bucarell, and of course, our mascot, hero of time, Link Diablo, and of course, Trevor and Jeff from the New Dad Gaming. We want to thank them for stopping by. We want you guys to stop on by next week, because as always, we love you, we miss you, we want to see you next week. Until then,